Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends, probably.
Is it going to be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all going to be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money. Yeah.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
Oh, true. Okay.
And Gervonta Tank Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's gonna be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up actually together, you know. Roach and him back and forth battles and whatnot. It's gonna be a pretty interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach he come to fight, and I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about why Roach, because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
Gervonta Tank Davis recently broke his silence regarding the cancellation of his highly anticipated fight with Lamont Roach, offering insight into the situation that left fans disappointed. The much-talked-about matchup had generated significant buzz, but unforeseen circumstances caused the event to fall apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do it for myself, but I do it for the people with me. My whole family is from DC. My whole family, like my entire family.
Don't bring them. Don't bring them.
For what?
Don't bring them. I'm telling you.
They gonna celebrate with me. You
don't bring them.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's the name? He was shaking on the
Pops.
On my kids, he was shaking on this thing. On my kids, he was shaking.
Don't
Never.
say, bro.
That's cap.
But it's got to be more than that. Nah, he's strategic. He's setting guys up. He been boxing since a little kid, just like I've been boxing since a little kid. And you can tell, like, with the experience. Even with his last fight with Frank Martin, you can see Frank Martin was more so an amateur. Like, the experience he got is not on the level of, like, Tank.
Yeah. Tank all day, baby. Tank all day. Easy work. Easy work. My money goes to it. All right, guys. Right in the front, right here. Get in the front rest there. Easy work, Tank. Come on, back down here, please. Right here. Back to the camera in the back. Oh, in the back of the line.
The build-up to the Davis-Roach fight had been marked by intense preparation and high expectations. Both fighters had been training rigorously, with Davis focusing on sharpening his skills and staying in peak physical condition. The fight was seen as a significant step in Davis's career, providing an opportunity to further solidify his position as one of the top boxers in the world. For Roach, it was a chance to prove himself against a formidable opponent and potentially achieve a career-defining victory.
He's not a big 35. I don't see why people like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo-de-woo, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep saying that. They're going to keep saying that.
Cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
I mean, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're going to beat everybody, like, anyway. But if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm going to be an easy cakewalk,
yeah.
Everybody in the world knows that's not gonna happen. I mean, like, that's not gonna happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am gonna be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
In his interview, Davis expressed his deep disappointment over the cancellation. He revealed that he had put in countless hours of training and had made numerous sacrifices to ensure he was ready for the fight.
About, oh, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, what, both times? In the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial, for
You're
sure.
cordial?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
He cool to me.
He's cool to you?
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He has?
Nah, he hasn't.
He has not?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm confirming that. He hasn't said
anything.
He has
not said anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody.
The news of the cancellation was a huge blow, not only to him, but also to his team, who had worked tirelessly alongside him. Davis emphasized that the decision to call off the fight was out of his control, and he understood the frustration and disappointment felt by his fans.
I think he chose me because I am gonna be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Davis explained that the cancellation was due to unforeseen circumstances, which were beyond his and Roach's control. While he did not delve into the specific details, he hinted at logistical issues and complications that arose in the lead-up to the fight. Davis expressed his regret that these issues could not be resolved in time, and he acknowledged the efforts made by both teams to try and salvage the event.
Beat his ass for y'all talk. For real. I better be quiet.
I don't give a if y'all was quiet, if y'all was loud.
We got the whole hood over there, Tank.
Like, twisted up. I don't give a
Y'all
about none
can
of that.
do whatever
I don't
y'all
care about
want.
none of
My
that.
mother, he
I
can't
don't care
stop
about no
nothing
hood,
over
no
here.
none of that.
Not at all.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna him up.
Not at all. Never. Nothing's
But y'all
gonna get
under
up
y'all
over here.
face
What do I look like getting up?
Okay.
Ain't never gonna stop nothing over here.
And he gonna pay for it.
Despite the setback, Davis remained hopeful and optimistic about the future, expressing his determination to return to the ring as soon as possible.
I guarantee he pay for it. I guarantee it.
Calm down. Calm down, brother.
Come to the fight. Come to the fight.
They probably gonna get you up. Look, fool. Hey, fool. This me and you, fool. This me and you, fool.
Tank.
This me and you, fool.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them. They might get you. They gonna trick you off your spot. They gonna trick you off your spot, fool. Don't worry about them.
Come on, stop. Y'all know what's going on. Y'all know how I'm coming. Y'all know how I'm coming. So stop it. Y'all gonna make it hard for him. That's what y'all gonna do. Y'all gonna make it hard for him.
No, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a dedicated fighter when it comes to training and fighting and making sure that he's in optimal conditions when he steps inside that squared circle. It's going to be a tough night for Roach, but you can never count him out. You know, watching him fight up close and personal, he's sneaky good, which means he can catch you at any time. He can land combinations, sometimes at will, without you even knowing it. You know, he's that sneaky. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But, obviously, Gervonta Davis has the experience. He has the knowledge. He has that mean streak in him that will take you out with any punch.
Many critics argue that the upcoming Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight feels more like a money grab than a genuine competitive matchup.
About, he's doing this fight for money, and Tank is strategically picking him because in the amateur world, you guys fought twice, right? And you lost, both times in the amateur fight. So are you all friends? Are y'all cordial? First, what's the relationship?
We're cordial, for
You're
sure.
cordial?
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
He cool to me.
He's cool to you.
Yeah.
And you haven't heard that he said anything differently?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He has?
No, he hasn't.
He has not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm confirming that. He hasn't said
anything.
He has not
said anything differently. So does it confirm people's suspicion that he purposefully picked you, not only because you're cordial, but because he believes he's going to knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change?
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody.
They suggest Tank has chosen Roach because he views him as an easy opponent, someone he can defeat without much difficulty. Roach, on the other hand, is accused of taking the fight primarily for the payday rather than for the challenge.
Cordial, but because he believes he's gonna knock you out, get the purse, and then you walk away with a nice piece of change.
Man, you're in the wrong game if you don't think you're gonna beat everybody. Anyway, but if you're saying specifically pick me because I'm gonna be an easy cakewalk, everybody in the world knows that's not gonna happen. that's not gonna happen. Him personally, he know that. I think he chose me because I am going to be one of the better opponents that he's faced in his entire career, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Lamont Roach makes it clear that his upcoming fight with Gervonta "Tank" Davis isn't motivated by money. He views Tank as an easy opponent, saying he will be a simple challenge for him, almost like a piece of cake. Roach emphasizes that he's the champion at 130 pounds, while Tank competes at 135 pounds. He suggests that if Tank were truly looking for a competitive fight, he could have chosen to face fighters in higher weight classes, like Canelo Alvarez, instead of Roach. However, Roach points out that the idea of Tank fighting Canelo is unrealistic, as Canelo fights at 168 pounds, a super middleweight division.
By evidence of what? Your record? Because you had to get, if I'm not mistaken, you had to get permission to be bumped up to that weight class of lightweight in order to fight, because you're in the what, range of 130?
Yeah, I'm the champion at 130.
You're the world champion at 130 and he's 135. Yeah, so aren't there other fighters he could have fought within an upper weight class like Canelo? I've heard a lot of people say, why isn't he fighting Canelo rather than Roach? What's up with that?
They want that man to fight Canelo, man?
They do.
I don't know, that's
I've
crazy.
heard a lot of people say that.
That's crazy.
Lamont Roach makes it clear that his upcoming fight with Gervonta Davis isn't motivated by money. He views Tank as an easy opponent, saying he will be a simple challenge for him, almost like a piece of cake. Roach emphasizes that he's the champion at 130 pounds, while Tank competes at 135 pounds.
Why was it so easy when he fought Frank Martin?
Frank Martin was inexperienced and nervous. You know, it is what it is. It's going to be a different fight when I'm in there. He's going to be a different fighter when he's fighting me.
What's your game plan?
Whoop his ass. I'm always looking for a knockout. No matter what, I'm always prepared for 12 rounds. But I'm always looking for a knockout, and if I get the chance, I'm going to try to knock his head off.
He suggests that if Tank were truly looking for a competitive fight, he could have chosen to face fighters in higher weight classes, like Canelo Alvarez, instead of Roach. However, Roach points out that the idea of Tank fighting Canelo is unrealistic, as Canelo fights at 168 pounds, a super middleweight division.
Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year. Do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, you know, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult recently shared his thoughts on the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach matchup, expressing his disappointment over what he perceives as a mismatch. He argued that Tank Davis is being avoided by some of the top fighters in the division, which has led him to face less competitive opponents such as Roach.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson ducked him. Lomachenko ducked him openly. El Rayo didn't want to fight this year. He wanted to fight next year. Another thing is, I was hearing that Tank wanted it at 135 and rehydration, all kind of shit. So, but I don't know how true that is, which it wouldn't shock me if that was true. Either way, for whatever reason, El Rayo fell apart. The options were just getting diabolical. All right, I understand that. At the same time, Lamont Roach versus Tank is trash. If Devin Haney announced he was fighting Lamont Roach coming up from 130 next at 135, I'll say that shit's trash. Let me tell you this. To me, Gervonta is far better than Devin Haney. So it's trash, bruh. It's trash.
Floyd Schofield, another boxer in the lightweight division, shares his opinion on Gervonta Davis's focus in the lead-up to the Roach fight. Schofield suggests that Tank would be better off focusing on his opponent rather than getting distracted by outside noise, such as social media or personal issues.
Be in good spirits if I had an 8 today. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Obviously, an important fight for you. Every fight at this point is an important fight for you because of what you know is looming. It's close. I was just talking to Oscar about, you know, another successful fight. You're this close to a potential Gervonta Davis fight. Like, what does that feel like for you at this stage in your career?
It feels good because, you know, this is the things that we worked for. You know, me being number 2 in the WBA, it's just like a dream come true almost. I didn't collect the belt yet, but I worked my whole life for this, you know, me and my dad, you know. So when the opportunity presents itself, we're going to be more than ready. But it's a dream come true, really.
Roach takes the opportunity to address concerns about his weight class, stating that he is comfortable fighting at 130 pounds despite some people claiming that he is too small.
Obviously, Tank isn't the biggest 135 pounder. Everybody fights is damn near bigger than him. I think the only person that was smaller than him was Pitbull. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just in height and stature. He was, you know, technically bigger than Tank too. But you know, Tank is comfortable at 135, so I don't blame him for fighting that way. But he's not a big 35. I don't see why people like, oh, you brought up a smaller guy, woo doo woo, blah blah blah. You know, I mean, like, to me personally, I'm not stunned that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna keep saying that. They're gonna keep saying that. You know what I'm saying? I fight at 130 because that's what I campaign at. That's why I started my career. That's where I campaigned. That's why I worked my way up to a world title. And that's what I was gonna do. My plan was always to move up to 35 and win another title. So it just happened a little, you know what I'm saying, a little earlier than normal.
Yeah, but I mean, you fought at 35 before.
It was just, so technically, them wasn't just 35 fights. You know, like when a boxer starting their career, they don't necessarily have to make 130 pounds because we're not in title contention or none of that. So the opponents that I was getting, the opponents that were there or were available, opponents that were selected for me were probably bigger, or they just couldn't make weight. Like the fight that you probably talking about that occurred at like 40, I was supposed to fight at 32. He was 8 pounds overweight. They made him lose weight. I went, ate breakfast, and weighed in. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's how it be in the beginning of people's career. That's why different people fight at different weights, and everybody doesn't necessarily fight under their weight that they campaigning, or at the weight that they campaigning technically when they start off. You know what I'm saying?
Lamont Roach's reaction to the cancellation of his fight with Tank was one of confusion and frustration. After Davis claimed on social media that the fight was canceled, Roach quickly responded, denying the claim and asserting that he was still preparing for the bout 1. He posted on his Instagram story, "The y'all keep asking me for?" He said that expletive, "Not me. I'm locked in. Ain't changed." March 1st, Brooklyn.
Honestly, I worked my ass off to get right here, so it's about time.
Lamont, when Tank says that he's going to retire at the end of next year, do you think he has one foot out the door?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was a mistake for him to say that, especially in front of me. So, you know, I'm going to just take advantage of him and show him why he shouldn't have said that, or why he shouldn't be contemplating that.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about that shit.
What advantage do you feel like you have going into this fight?
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with.
Stephen A. Smith, a prominent sports commentator, weighed in on the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, expressing his opinion that Roach might be at a disadvantage due to his size. Smith mentioned that Roach is too small for the fight and suggested that Davis, being a larger fighter, might have the upper hand. He also commented on the weight difference between the two fighters, noting that Davis is moving up in weight class, which could play a significant role in the outcome of the bout.
And lastly, Stephen A., last name I, of course, want to throw your way is Gervonta Davis. I know you believe in his skills.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What do you think of his fight with Roach? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think Roach is too small. I think Roach is too small. And that's my issue. I'm not questioning the skill set or anything like that. But it was similar to Frank Martin. You know what I mean? This guy comes in there and you got 18 fights. And I remember watching that pre-fight press conference when he was annoying Gervonta Davis so much and he cussed by accident. Excuse me. He cussed by accident. He was like, "Ooh, you know, making this up. He hurt me in sparring," and you know, and I knew Gervonta was gonna come for him, and sure enough, that's what he did. Walked right towards him from round 1 on.
What are your thoughts about Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight cancellation? Share your opinions and join the conversation below.